The Oregon Master Naturalist program is based on the campus of Oregon State University in beautiful Corvallis, Oregon. It is part of the OSU Extension Service Forestry and Natural Resources program and was established in 2009. The Oregon Master Naturalist program enhances a sense of place and increases knowledge about and connections to the natural environment for all Oregonians, and it encourages service that protects and supports ecosystems and community well-being in Oregon. Join Master Naturalists as we take a tour of and learn about some of Oregon's beautiful places.
And I'm an intertidal interpreter at Haystack Rock in Cannon Beach. I've been an Oregon Master Naturalist and a volunteer here for the last 4 years, and I am lucky enough to spend my weekends and free time down here volunteering at one of the most beautiful places we have in Oregon. In the tidal zone, we have the intertidal zone. We have starfish, chitons, nudibranchs, all sorts of things. And most of our time is spent helping the public understand what they're looking at. Hope you get to visit Haystack Rock one of these days. Bye.
The Tillamook Coast Range receives an average of 90 inches of water each year. All that water has to go somewhere. We actually have 5 rivers that flow from the Coast Range into Tillamook Bay. Starting in the south, you have the Tillamook River, the Trask River, the Wilson River, the Kilchis River, and the Miami River. This is the Trask River, and most of the rivers flow down pretty much a straight shot, except for the normal wiggles the rivers have. This little area is unique in that it has a thumb of land that sticks out into the river that the river has to flow around. The reason for that little thumb of land is actually this little chunk of rock. This is a section of columnar basalt. Now, if you know anything about geology in this area, you'll know that we don't have mountains or volcanic mountains in this area. And columnar basalt is volcanic magma that cools in place. So this obviously didn't cool in place where it is. According to the Oregon Department of Forestry, this columnar basalt did cool in place, but not this place. It cooled in place on a small volcanic island off the coast. And as the tectonic plates moved, this moved inland. The earth here, or the rocks, are much harder than the surrounding rocks. And this little island formed kind of a dam in the river that it eventually went around to form the peninsula.
Hello, I'm Paddle Air, and with my wife Bobby, who's running the camera, we'd like to introduce you to the William L. Finley National Wildlife Refuge. We're both Oregon Master Naturalists, and we've been here as both resident and non-resident interpretive volunteers. The variety of habitats here are representative of how the valley was before European settlers arrived by way of the Oregon Trail. Findlay protects some of the last areas of habitats that were once abundant in the valley. The oak savanna is one of our favorite habitats at Findlay. As you look out over a portion of it here off Woodpecker Loop, you can see the widespread Oregon white oak trees. Thanks to the fire farming of Native Americans, much of the uplands in the Willamette Valley had this park-like appearance when settlers arrived. The oak is fascinating. It's a keystone species that supports more than 200 other species, from tiny insects to large mammals like deer and cougar. It's easy to spend hours here enjoying the look and sound of the wind through the trees, the waka 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 of the acorn woodpecker, and the appearance of Roosevelt elk and brush rabbits.
Morning, my name's Jack Shore. I'm a Master Naturalist and a Master Gardener in Portland, Oregon. I wanted to welcome you to the Master Gardener Washington County Education Garden located on the grounds of Portland Community College, Rock Creek campus. And this is our beautiful garden that encompasses about 1/3 of an acre. So we wanted to show you that at each station of each section of the garden, there's a plant ID icon key which tells you what part of the garden you're in, and it tells you with little icons what are friendly habitats for different types of pollinators, what type of soil and shade they need. This section of the garden is called the Insect and Pollinator Garden, and so we decided to actually build a insect habitat here. And one of the last things we wanted to show you was an observational nesting tray designed basically for small children about their height, and they can slide the window back very carefully and you can see the mason bees in there. This particular one has not been cleaned, but you can see there's still some bees in there nesting, and they brought in mud from surrounding area here, areas where we've actually purposely left little mud puddles for them so they can bring it in and nest.
Hi, this is Al Haig reporting for the OSU Master Naturalist program. Over here you can see Crater Lake in lovely Oregon, the only national parks in the state, at 1,943 feet. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and the deepest volcanic lake in the world. Crater Lake is part of the Cascade volcano range, and this lake has no endemic species, but 2 introduced types of fish and crawdads. Some of the trees you'll see around this national park are whitebark pine, lodgepole pine, and ponderosa pine. Some of the birds we saw here this week were Cooper's hawk, Canada jays, pine siskins, and likely a goldfinch. The only other animals we saw were pikas, or pikas, I don't know how to say that, and chipmunks. It's certainly a place you have to visit if you're on a road trip through Oregon.
This is Carrie Gordon. I'm a geologist, and we're going to talk about rocks that tell stories. So if you look at the rocks that are next to my hand lens, you can see several different varieties, and they have different characteristics. Looking across toward Powell Butte and Viewpoint State Park right above Prineville. If we pan around to the north, we can see Grizzly Mountain and the site of Barnes Butte. The rocks that I have here are telling a story about all of these places. Look at the round rocks. They tell a story of having been somewhere special. They've been rolled around in a river. The red rocks are angular. They're called rhyolite, and they came from the volcano that erupted between Powell Butte and Grizzly, Gray Butte, and Pilot Butte behind me 29.5 million years ago. They're part of the Crooked River caldera. More importantly, that plateau that we're looking at across to the southwest is an old river bottom. Basically, that's the top of the river valley. And these round rocks that I found are basalt, and they came from lakes that were ponded up here when those basalt flows came down and dammed up the Crooked River.